everybody. I'm doing a reading here that I actually laid out last night, and it was so good I wanted to share it. So I have seen these cards, but when I shuffled them and dealt them, this is what was turned up to me in front of me by Spirit. And this for me is the energies that we're going to be experiencing here during the next I'd say about 3 weeks and forward. I'm really looking at it in the time frame of Taurus. I plan on doing another reading for the new moon and then the full moon, and then I'll do another reading at the end of the month for Gemini when that comes in. So this is going to be about twin flames and divine partnerships. So those of you who are on that journey, I'm hoping some of it resonates with you. On the left hand side, I'm showing the currently awakened twin, the one that's been on has known that they're on this journey for some time. And on the right hand side, those of us who are waiting for our twin to wake up. I believe they're in the process of awakening and have been for some time, especially more recently. There's some big changes that are coming for them in that regard, and so I'm going to call them the awakening twin. I apologize that I will probably end up talking about feminine and masculine quite a bit. It's kind of a habit that's hard to break, but again, remember that I do see these more as the feminine energies, and these are the masculine, and in general, the feminine is the one who is awakened sooner. So be that as it may. So at the bottom here, I have just kind of a little bit of a storyline that gives some details to what's been going on, and maybe kind of a past, present, and future, or even just all of them together. They really speak to what is happening here. And that's in some tarot cards. And then I have the energy cards here that give some more details about where the energies lie. And then here's kind of a direction of where things are headed. And look at the top card. We have the Ace of Cups. It's just beautiful. Same thing for the masculine over here. And in the center, we'll talk about this later. Again, these are more energies of as these, the two of them coming together. So this is kind of a picture of what's happening with the awakened twin and with the awakening twin. And so we'll just go ahead and get started. I love the Ten of Swords card. I know a lot of people feel like this one is kind of a scary card, but to me it's very similar to the Death card in that it's about transformation. It's about endings, and it's about the ending of pain. This is a painful scene, but I feel like those of us who've been on this path for a while, we're really ready for this kind of change, and I believe that's what the new moon in Scorpio really ushered in. So you can see that, and look what it brings in next. It brings in an opening. I see this as the Two of Cups, of course, is about emotions, but it's about the twins here. They look very similar to each other. They have that connection through their third eye, and they're seeing eye to eye. They're looking into each other's souls, and I feel like this energy here of the transformations that we experienced recently, as well as them, are bringing this on. A new ability to really see each other and look into each other's souls and see what's going on inside. And we see the moon as really what has been influencing that, but it's also a card that talks about going into your higher self, going into secrets. We have had a lot of people who talked about the full moon in Scorpio being a time of secrets being revealed. I think it's secrets that were revealed to our own hearts, in our own minds, the things that we then understood about ourselves, maybe about other people. Maybe there were secrets that needed to be uncovered in situations with how we're dealing with other people. And all of that happened with this full moon. So I really feel like this is just establishing that foundation of where we're at. I think it's interesting that over here on the awakening twin side, we have a full moon as well. And we have the High Priestess here, and it shows the crescent moon as well. So you really see that theme here. I love that this card here came in the upright position. In my last reading, it was reversed, which to me didn't mean that there wasn't carrying connections, but just that maybe there was some blocks to it or some delays, but that, that's an energy you can always turn around. And I think that we have through this energy right here of door to spirit. The door to the spirit is a beautiful representation here of what's going on. We have a dove, which doves symbolize love. They symbolize spirit. And all of these lights that are just coming in, you could just picture somebody open that door and whoosh in came the inspiration of the spirit of the dove. And I know that in my own experience, this is really what happened exactly because of this here. I had this transformation where I really released some new energies or some negative energies that needed to be released that came through. I had this happen, and then this is what's coming in, and this opening the door to the spirit, releasing those negative energies, and is ending up bringing me so much closer to my twin, not in a physical union yet, but so much more on a spiritual and emotional and fifth dimensional connection. I feel him more than ever before, and look at the result of that cornucopia, and it's number 11. Love this card because again, you have the sunshine streaming through, butterflies, you have all of this abundance. This is bringing it into the physical plane, which is wonderful because here we have it in the spiritual plane, and then it comes into the physical. And I'll hold these cards up a little bit closer. You can see the door to the spirit card is so lovely. And the caring connections, I feel like this right now. I feel like I can imagine my twin's arms around me, and I've been doing that more than ever. And in my meditation, just making that connection. So this made way for this to come in, and with this kind of result. As we move forward, again, we're going to see some forward energies here through the month of April, end of April, and into May. Eight of Pentacles, it comes up to me and resonates with me a lot because I just feel like this is what, those of us on this path have been doing. We've been working so hard, and we're bringing it into the physical again, not just only doing it on a spiritual level, but we're doing it in the physical and plugging away, not giving up. That's what that's about. And so just remind you, you're having all of these changes come in, but don't give up, don't stop. You might still have those times where you feel like this. When that happens, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like, oh, I haven't made enough progress, and look at everything was going so great, and now I'm feeling like this again. No, just remember that you have those moments when the blindfolds are on and you have all these thoughts that are just, tormenting you. You feel like you're chained up, but you can actually unblindfold yourself, just shake those chains off. All of the thoughts and the swords will just fall down around you, and you will be completely free by just a shift in your thinking. That's what it takes. In my own experience, I've learned to do that better as the time has gone on, of recognizing when I'm going into those patterns, because I do this a lot, just like that. And then I'm like, wait a minute, no, I don't want that. I want to be in this kind of a space right here. What would you rather have? You can do that. You can go back into that space anytime, and it's, by the intent of your thought. Letting this, the Eight of Swords, let it lead you to the Ten of Swords experience, where you're like, no, it's a transformation. I can let that go. That can be over with. What comes next is the Judgment card. To me, the Judgment card is all about a call. It's what you're called to do. It's a karmic. Karmic is not even a good enough word for it. It's your life purpose. It's what you set out to do from the very beginning, and you're hearing the call. You can't not hear that trumpet call when it sounded, and you see all of these kind of ghoulish looking spirits rising up, and they're being released, or they're answering the call. You're feeling it, and just remember that even though I showed this on this side is the awakened twin, whatever we experience over here is affecting our twin on the other side. And I do find it interesting because a lot of times I'll see cards that will kind of correlate with each other that way. So just keep that in mind. And then beautiful Ace of Cups. We'll come to that later when I finish talking about the other side. So over here I have a King of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Eight of Cups is kind of the foundation of the situation right now. And I do like that the King is here on the inside edge, and he's looking toward the feminine in the center. And it's, I feel like for a lot of times I've had a lot of cards that came up over here, like this one, for example, where he's looking away. And it's nice to see one that's like, he's starting to, pay attention to what's happened. The Eight of Cups is always an encouraging card to me in a situation where I know that it's time for me to move on, or it's time for somebody else to move on. And I believe, our counterpart is awakening, and they're finally ready to, stand up and go. They've experienced this. This is all of their, their karmic relationships. Some of the cups are standing up, some have tipped over. Some of them really, they all met their purpose and they're done. They're leaving it, that's their past. Their back is to it. there's a mole in the picture here, and the mole is a creature that, lives underneath the ground, and it's pretty much lost its ability to see because it, never really needs to. So its eyes are very small and only basically can tell light from dark. And I think that's kind of symbolic of the situation too, that he's leaving that behind him as well. His eyes are wide open, and he's, sensing that energy of the sun, of the moon, and it's calling to him. And it started calling to him because he began to have the awakening that comes from the high priestess. That's your higher self. He's connecting to that higher self. It's right there smack dab in the middle of that card. And if you don't, believe me, this is what brought that in. That was the moon. That was that moon in Scorpio. And it is opening the door, not just, this is on maybe on your side over there, but it is for all, both of us, your partner as well as yourself. So here I think is interesting. I had the only card in this deck that has Archangel Michael on it. It showed up, which I think is fantastic because I really have felt his energies coming in. Being in the reversed position, I don't have my book. I forgot to bring it over here with me. But the reversed position is talking about there are some blocks that way, and it's just an area that needs focus. And, to focus your attention on that. And I think that is partly here, not just to show us about the first chakra, but to just show us that we need to be asking Archangel Michael to help us with our twins and ourselves as well, that he has the sword, the ability to cut through these karmic ties, these things that bind us. And, it's really important for us to be calling on him right now more than ever. And he and the other angels are all ready to help us at any time that we ask. And by doing that, you can get this to turn around in the upright position. So I love that. Next to it, storm warning, and I really have no problem with this. I think it reminds me of a dream I had. Even the picture in this, I just thought of this for the first time. This was about 1.5 years ago. I had a dream where I was looking at this strange house that was just open on 3 sides. It had no roof, and it was walls. And the inside of the house was set up just like kind of like a set, like on a TV set. And there was, a rug and a lamp and a table and an lazy boy rocking chair. And there was somebody sitting in the rocking chair reclined, and they were asleep. And in my dream, a tornado like this came along and sucked up the man out of the chair and just, took him away, and he was gone. And when I woke up, I really, of course, was like, okay, what is that dream about? And I had had a lot of different thoughts about what that meant. But I think most of all, it's a warning. It's a warning to us to know that we could be caught asleep in that chair and not be paying attention, and then we'll get sucked away. But if we're awake and if we're aware that storm is coming, then we can deal with it better. And I do believe that our twin has wakened up, and they're in the process of awakening, and they're going to know. And this storm here is actually going to bring the change that's needed. Storms are very destructive. And I don't know about you, but I know that in my own life, I've gone through things that have completely destroyed, and I've had to rebuild. And as you can see, this place needs to be rebuilt. So this is coming. And if you, tens are numbers of completion. If you had any concern or worry that the universe has the ability to bring whatever it is into your twin's life that will cause, the shake up, they're ready for it. They're ready to move on. So when it comes this time, instead of like hanging on to it, they're going to let go. And, I also feel like that first chakra there, that relates to that. But look at this. This is what comes next. Okay, after the storm warning, the journey begins. And that can be a emotional journey, a spiritual journey, but I also feel like it could even be a physical journey that will lead them on and lead them to you, because look at what comes next. What comes next is the 10 of Cups. And again, the tens are numbers of completion. The 10 of Cups is the happy family. Everything is all, beautiful rainbows, and just, it's like, your little fairy tale dream coming true. But just like the card over here, we have kind of that middle card that says, yeah, this is all coming in, but this, 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles is about feeling inadequate, not having enough, having a lack, feeling like you don't really have anywhere to turn. In some of the tarot decks, people are standing in front of a church that doesn't have a door, it's just the window, and they're moving on. And that in and of itself is kind of you know, maybe a sad feeling, but on the other hand, it's a realization that this situation that they've been in is not enough. It's not adequate for them. It didn't meet their needs, and they have something inside that they need that's more, and they need to move on. And fives are about change. So, you know, whatever the case in this situation, it's about to change. That's what fives are for. And then if you weren't sure about change, here we have the Ace of Wands. That's all the energy to make it happen. It's coming in. It's right there. And look where that leads. It leads to the Ace of Cups, which is the ultimate card. I really feel in a lot of ways the Ace of Cups in the tarot deck is my favorite card. I have many favorite cards, but I just love the abundance, the overflowing, the emotion in here. In this particular cup, we see the transitions of the moon, which I just feel like, you know, it just reminds us of the energies that are there to help us with these changes and to bring this in with the all-seeing eye or the third eye. And then, you know, the Ace of Cups is just its beginnings, it's new things. And so this is all about new beginnings that are starting to happen. So let's take a look really quickly at the energies that are here for, you know, both of you together. And I just love that both of these turned out upside down in reversal. Adjacent possibilities. This card is really about saying to yourself, you know, you need to look somewhere else, something different, you know, be open for something new, and don't focus on, you know, what you have, you know, don't focus on this situation right here, but, you know, look for something else. But being in the reverse, it actually means the opposite. It means that what you have right here, right now is exactly what you need. And because this is the center of the two of the partners, of the twins or the divine partners, that's what it's talking about. It's like, you don't need to be looking for adjacent possibilities. You don't need to be looking for something else that's right there. It's, you have it with inside your heart, and this broken heart upside down again, it means the heart is healing. And I love that, you know, it's like the two halves of the heart are coming together when it's in reverse. And, you know, both you and your twin, we've both had heartbreak that has been occurring not only in this lifetime, but for a long time with how we've, you know, been separated from our twin, and it's coming back together. That's the very, you know, right there. Next up above it, Goddess of the Moon. There's the moon again, and this card is very similar in meaning to the High Priestess. It's all about going into your higher self. It's about knowing that you have all the knowledge that you need. It's within you. And because it's right there in the center of this spread for both of you, it's just telling me that you're both coming into that recognition, you know, realization. And it's over here even to affirm the more so for us that we don't need to be worried and stressed out about whether our twin really gets it or not, or whether their higher self is going to have the ability to lead them where they need to go. Their angels and their guides, it's there. They have it just as much as we do. Even if they're not as aware of it, it's still there helping them. These two cards here, Retreat and Trust. And Retreat has been coming up for me a lot, and I think it's interesting here as we step right into all the energies of the retrograde planets. I feel like that's really what it's talking about. I know a lot of people are somewhat concerned when there's planets in retrograde, but this particular set of retrograde planets is working so much in our favor. We have Mars going back through Sagittarius and then back into Scorpio, just in case these lessons here of the full moon in Scorpio weren't quite fully realized, or if there was anything else that needed to be brought back in from that transformational period, that, you know, that Mars going back. And of course it's the masculine energy, so it's about really having the masculine pay attention to this. And it's also pulling back on the energy of Mars that is always the going and pressing forward and getting things done, or being the warrior, or conquering things. And so actually having the Mars energies pulled back like that right now is a great thing into being more introspective and not looking so much about what it takes for you to get something done on the outside, but what it takes to get something accomplished on the inside. And so you kind of turn those Mars energies inward and use them in a time of quiet. You know, take the time to retreat. I mentioned this in another reading before. I think this is the same one that came up, and it's about taking that time away and not, you know, pressing yourself to always be out there making connections with people. This is really not the time to do that. And you know, the energies of Taurus as well are very home oriented, you know, very grounded. It's just a time to really actually take a lot of pressure. The month of May, especially, you know, here with Taurus energies, is great time of release for us with all the planets in retrograde, as well as Taurian energies. And I feel like this message, I'm looking at it's over on his side in a way, but it's really for both of us. And it's just reminding me, trust. The situation is calling for us to have faith. And we have those times when, you know, might have a moment where we're not trusting, but remember that we have everything that we need within, you know, we've gone through these things. We know what to do. And, you know, go back into using those coping skills and those clearing, releasing energy exercises that can help you with that. And then let's take a look at here. And don't you know it? Look at that. That card came up again, my friends. Here I am doing readings for, you know, for the first time ever to share with the Twin Flame community, and my self-made Twin Flame card. If you watched my reading that I had last week that I posted, it was the same card that came up at the very top, and I was explaining how I made this card myself. I didn't resonate really with the religious factors, and every time that card came up, I just was kind of annoyed by it, because I was like, I know that for myself, I've cleared all the religious factors out, and whenever I saw that card, it just didn't, you know, speak to me. So I thought, I want a Twin Flame card in this deck. So that's my Twin Flame card. Your love is influenced by a Twin Flame connection spiritual path. So there you have it. And let's just do 3 more. I pulled up some angel, and again, I had these out last night. So this is what came up, and I had the situation will improve within the next few months. Trust, look at that. It came up right on top of that other trust card. So let me hold these up a little bit higher so you can see them. The situation will improve within the next few months. Trust. And that's one of the reasons I like to pull these cards sometimes as a, you know, 2 or 3 at a time, because they have great messages. Sometimes if I just want an answer, kind of get a yes or no answer, or at least attempt to, sometimes they, you know, they give you something else, which is fine. But I really, you know, appreciate these messages here. And I love the imagery on them. They're very angelic. So I just hope that this reading has helped you. Like I said, I'm going to do some, my next reading will be for the new moon. I'll get that out just about a week or so before the new moon, a few days before the new moon. Again, before the full moon. And I am considering offering readings. If I do, I will post it on my channel there to let people know. And not really interested in doing a whole ton of them, or, you know, ending up making this my career, because I have something else that I'll be doing. But right now, if there are people who are interested in having some insights that might come from them through these, I will let you know. And I hope to have you all like my page and subscribe to it, and tell others about it too if you find anything in it that you appreciate. Bye-bye.